Welcome to the PTA Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, John Caligiuri. I'm accompanied by my co-host, Nick Kelling. Nick, how you doing today?
Howdy. Great.
Nick, how was your weekend?
I'm good. Kind of a relaxing weekend. Nothing really happened with real estate wise, but I kind of need those to recoup, stay humble.
Yeah, I saw on LinkedIn that you closed within 3 days. I liked it, and I reposted it too. What was that deal? Was a couple weeks
That, that was listing quite a while ago.
listening quite a while ago? Yeah, I haven't been on LinkedIn in forever. A lot of people talk about LinkedIn.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, to find people who are looking to buy a house, you don't really use LinkedIn to buy a house. So
Yeah, and I think it
I'm
is
not really on it a lot.
I think it's the generation above us.
Yeah.
Because now I would say our generation, like I would love to hear your thoughts on it. Like I think my generation or our generation, best social media is Instagram for networking and things like that.
Yeah, definitely Facebook still. Definitely Instagram's probably going to be number one, and then X. But
Yeah,
Meta being number one.
because Meta owns all of them. But I do think LinkedIn does have like a space in our market because you need it for like if you're a professional, like a young professional, like working the 9 to 5 grind. I would definitely say LinkedIn's good just so you can update people and people can peek at it when you like apply for different jobs and things like that. And it's also
Yeah,
good.
I'll post all my deals on LinkedIn and all that stuff just in case if I maybe switch brokerage or maybe when I open up my own brokerage or do any kind of um, working with investors or commercial wise, they can always look me up on LinkedIn and see everything I've done business wise without going on Instagram and seeing like, oh, what does this mean? What does that mean? Like terminology. And it's more like, hey, this is my, more laid out business per business other than like, oh, here's some like media, like scroll catchers and like hooks and stuff like that to get people's attention. It's
Yeah, I
less of
definitely
that.
see like Instagram is way more of a collaborative. That's such a douchey thing to say, but like Instagram is definitely more like get your name out there, expand and grow. LinkedIn's
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn's more of like you kind of your profile history of like who you are, where you are, and when did you do it. Like it's kind of like
Yep.
your history. I would
And
say.
then you can put all your education on there too, and then your resume. It's like a resume profile other than a media profile.
Yeah, it's definitely advantageous for you if you're doing the 9 to 5 or you're trying to climb the corporate ladder.
Yeah, or if you're trying to hire people off of LinkedIn, or if
Oh
you're
yeah,
trying to find a better job, test the waters in different industries, anything like that.
yeah, I completely agree. So the articles we have today, they're both from CNBC. And then one of them, the title is "Pending Home Sales Drop to a Record Low, Even Worse Than During the Financial Crisis." And then the other one that we're going to discuss is Nashville's real estate boom has builders scrambling and residents facing sky high prices. And I think this is a good. These are two good articles just to kind of encapsulate like what we're thinking about of prices are rising, so less and less people trying to buy a house, and then in hot places like Florida, Texas, Nashville, basically all the California transplants, those places that everyone's flocking to, saying, "Oh, it's so cheap, you can buy a house for 300,000." Well, now all those California people are jacking the prices up.
Yeah, I've seen prices stay pretty stable in the past 6 months ish. Not a huge rise, even though interest rates are going up. Um, a lot of like the bigger houses, more expensive houses have come down a little bit, but some of the 300,000 to 600,000, maybe even 700,000, has kind of stayed the same. But I haven't really seen like this article. Article is definitely talking about nationwide, where I'm like just focused on Houston. I'm seeing kind of like the opposite what this article is saying, but this is just me, just in Houston though.
Article you're seeing the opposite of. That's an interesting boots on the ground perspective because I
Yeah,
guarantee you, neither one. I'm not going to guarantee anything, but I would wager that neither one of these people put boots on the ground in the markets that they
no,
do.
they're just looking at stats, which is important, especially
Yeah,
then like if you're looking at like a whole nation or even like
yeah. I'm not
like
trying to knock their hustle.
global. But
I guarantee you,
yeah,
your boss is like, you have 5 articles a week, write one out, and they were looking
yeah.
at the numbers, and this is what they came up with. But what article are you talking about? The Nashville article or the home sale article that you disagree with? Like
Home
from your
prices keep rising even as mortgage rates surge. S&P case.
okay, not the Nashville article, the other one.
No, yeah. I agree with the other one. That pending home sales have dropped. Nobody's selling because they don't want to sell their house they have a 3% interest rate on to buy a house with a 7% interest rate. Like,
And yeah,
that
why
just doesn't make sense.
that makes no sense to do that. I completely agree.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with that. But home prices, at least in Houston, has stayed pretty pretty good.
Because I know we talked about a
The
couple
past six
weeks ago.
months.
I know a couple weeks ago there was a little bit of a haircut when rates were high because they did drop prime.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like home prices are going down, not up
In Houston.
in Houston. Yeah, more so the $1 million+ houses have dropped a little bit more, and then what I've seen because I do a lot with I've helping a client with $150,000 house, so like kind of flipping stuff like that. But I most focus on like 300,000 to maybe 600,000, kind of the tops. Um, that's where I kind of focus at, and where I've seen myself doing most sales at. And I've seen those prices have stayed pretty stable.
And even with inflation and everything, $1 million home is still $1 million home. Like you still need to make
Yeah,
200 a year to buy $1 million home. So those are gonna be tough. Those are gonna be tougher sales. You know what I'm saying? Because no
yeah,
matter like what like mortgage loan person you're using or what system process, yada yada, you still need to make 200 grand a year. So there's only a percentage of the United States population that
very
makes it
small.
grand a year to afford the $1 million house.
Yeah,
And And I just want to make that clear. Like, if you make 200 grand a year, you're not guaranteed $1 million home, but that's kind of like rough estimate of how much you need to make a year to
yeah.
afford.
There's so many variables that go into that. Like you might have shit credit, or you might have a lot of car loans out, or still
Yeah,
paying student loans or
or
whatever.
you could make 80 grand a year, and heaven forbid someone passed away, you came in some money, or you hit it big on crypto, and now you're putting a very large down payment on it, and then that could work
Yeah,
as well. So, but
yeah,
kind of like the rule of thumb is 200 grand.
yeah. 100,000 for each spouse. That's kind of what I've seen on more expensive. Like people who are buying that expensive houses are usually like they both got jobs and making decent money.
Yeah, they both got nice jobs.
It's kind of what you need in like the whole like one person works and the other one stays at home just isn't reality in America anymore. Like that's just
Yeah. Well, it depends on what you want to do. Like, if you live below your means, if you want to drive a Toyota Corolla, you want to have no credit card debt.
but if you want to live in a big city in the nicest neighborhood, like the odds are both of you guys are gonna have to work
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
that's the lifestyle you want.
Yeah. You got to work to afford your lifestyle. And many Americans can afford their lifestyle, and yet they still live it. That is
Yep.
what I love about America. Americans love to put it on the credit card. Oops,
Yep.
we'll put that minimum payment. Oh, the extra margarita at Bennigan's. Oh yeah, we'll put that on the card. Oh,
And we've all done it. We've all done it. The
yes,
temptation's too good.
yes, yes. That all inclusive trip to Cabo, you just had to go on
Yeah, you just had to go.
because all the ladies are going to be there, but you didn't link with any of them
No, no, because you're poor,
because
and
you're
then you
just
put it on the credit card.
yeah. Dude, that's one of my what I love about like social media now. Like, have you ever seen those gym cell like clips? One just a bunch of people like sad talking about lifting. It's like, bro, like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, there's a gym right in Houston. Um, it's like a huge like social media gym.
Oh my god, that would be
Um,
insufferable.
yeah, like everyone who like goes there has like a tripod, has a little camera. They do like one set, and then yeah, like the
No,
whole thing is like social media gym.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Dude, when I was in San Diego visiting Douglas, we are like walking around the San Diego park, and these ladies were in front of a fountain, and there was like they were literally made a traffic jam, and then this one old guy, He looked left, he looked right, he checked his back blast area was all clear, and he just charged ahead. He knocked over their stand, and then me and Douglas were like, okay, I guess we're just gonna walk now. They were so about it. But literally, it was like peak hours. They were they were literally causing a traffic jam, and this one old guy was like, nah, not today.
I ain't having it.
Yeah, he's like, I have things to do.
I mean, that's like, someone just got to do that. Like,
yeah,
get out of my way. Like, I ain't got time for that shit.
Yes, dude, and all those like that's one thing that's crazy to me. Like all the entrepreneur things on social media, like call spade. We're entrepreneurs on social media, so we were part of this space as well. But I cannot stand of like, you don't know me, the hustle, the grind, like all that stuff with like the trauma stuff. It's like, bro, you grew up in a middle
Nobody
class.
cares.
Like your trauma is meaningless. Wake up and go to work. Stop doing sports.
And like that's not even like the right way to like if you want to be on social media, like give good information, give useful information, provide a service for someone that actually needs something. Just talking about like your struggle, bro, like nobody cares. Like how about you provide me with some like information or a service that I will give you money? Like no, like stop talking about like how tough it was. Like nobody's gonna like use you because of that.
I kind of disagree with you. Like, if you give good information, I don't think anyone cares. People just care about being scandalous. I'm not talking about social media, but like America in general, as pop culture, like American pop culture, they love to build a hero and then watch them fall. Like America, no, like doesn't matter who you are, what you do, you can give out the best information. You could be freaking Mother Teresa, and they'll build you up and tear you down. And that's a fact check. That's what they do to
yeah. Yeah, but if you're like some dude starting off, if you want to build social media presence.
Yeah, if you're two 25-year-old veterans trying to grow something, give good positive information, bro. But I'm just commenting on like all those. It's so annoying sometimes. Like when when you're scrolling, it's like how many times and like their trauma is like their girlfriend broke up with them. It's like, bro, like what are you talking about? That's what, like, if you live and love, like, you're going to get your heart broken a time or two. Don't turn into your. I cannot stand the people who got broken up with and now it's the personality. It's insufferable. In real life, out of these people in real life too, like, that's an acceptable way to handle that situation by making it your personality. It's like, bro, no wonder why she left you. I want to leave. Like, I want to leave. Like, I'm completely on her side. Like, I want to be done with this.
It's one thing of being like a bro and being there, but like you also gotta like not post it on social. Like, once you post it on socials, then like, bro, you don't actually mean this. Like, you just
you just want attention. It's literally just like help. It's like, bro, please stop. You're a man. Like do something about it. Like, go out in the world and exist.
No, being on social media and growing my business from there, you just see people you see like realtors and all that stuff try to do that. I'm like, bro, no one's gonna engage with you. Like,
like you are like it. You have the timestamp of 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're punching a punching bag. Yeah, I got a lot of good real estate information and business information about that. I just think you're just a Rocky ripoff. I'm tired of these Rocky ripoffs, bro. Like, you're selling me life insurance. I don't care if you can box, because I know you cannot.
What is it? You mentioned life insurance, and I do see a lot of people like ho life insurance. This is the be your own bank through life insurance. It's like, you got a good point, bro, but like social media is not the way to do it.
I know, like I don't want to sound like a hater, like knocking the people who are trying to make it, because we're doing the same thing they're doing. So like, we can't hate, like, we're in the social media business, young entrepreneur space. Like, I'm not blind to that fact, but I'm not shirtless, even though no one wants to see me shirtless, punching. Like, you don't have videos of me black and white running like 4 o'clock in the morning saying how tough my life was. Because me and you both know my life was not that tough.
Mine either.
Yeah. And I sure don't want people to like just the ego of that, just the victim mentality.
No.
I've never seen a victim.
But we are hustle life. Like,
Oh yeah, hustle, hustle,
we
hustle.
will sell you a service,
Yes, we will
and we'll
sell
be
you.
good at it.
Instead of episode 17, I think we're just going to make the title of this episode "Hustle Life."
Hustle
Hustle
life,
life, hustle life matters. So, kind of getting back on track a little bit because I know we love our rabbit holes, but I do want to hear your thoughts on like the like Nashville's real estate boom. Like, I kind of want to see your thoughts and opinions about like what you think about that. Is what the market's doing of like just kind of because I know I have my thoughts and opinion. I'd like to see what you got cooking up. If that made any sense, that was word vomit.
Uh, you go, and then I'll see. I don't really know Nashville that much, but other
Well,
than
I'm
what
just gonna
I've
comment
looked over.
because, like, I think we both are kind of uniquely capable of talking about this. Is because not about Nashville because we don't live there, but we're both transplants. You know what I'm saying? Like, we both left our native states to go to a different state, and I think you're going to see a lot more of this of as pr- bad policies become more and more affecting your day to day life. You're going to see these micro economies expand, like Nashville, Florida, Texas, heck, even Idaho. Imagine being living in California and say, "This is so bad, I'm gonna move to Idaho." I can't even imagine that.
No, yeah, and like the lifestyle you like just used
Yeah.
to, and then you're like, yeah, Idaho.
I'm shivering just thinking about living in Idaho. I'm sure there's
Yeah,
beautiful mountain ranges, but I don't care about your mountain range when it's -30. There's a reason why I left the Windy City.
I would like to see how many people from California move to Idaho. I bet you
Yeah.
that number's very low.
Well, I
It's
think
usually like the major cities in like.
yeah. Well, I think if you're from
Texas.
I can see if you're from, like Northern California, because that gets
Oh
cold.
yeah, yeah.
Like, if you're from the San Fran area or the Bay Area, I can
There's no way.
see moving to Idaho.
From San Fran to Idaho.
Well, I'm not talking about the gypsies that live in San Francisco. I'm talking about the
Oh,
safe suburbs.
that's all I picture is the
Yeah,
gypsies.
well, dude, imagine if you are from the suburbs of San Francisco and then you see all this craziness. Yeah,
Okay,
I can see that archetype of human being
I
choose.
could too.
Or imagine living in Seattle, like like either the suburbs of Seattle, and like, oh, I have a remote job. I can see myself going to Idaho if I was that person because you got
Farming or
money to move. If you're some idiot on the streets because you're there because you're a drug addict or you're lazy, you're not moving anywhere. There's a reason why you're on the streets in those cities.
yeah,
Because you remember why all those rich people from San Francisco would literally give the homeless person a plane ticket to fly to Hawaii just to get rid of them.
yeah.
It's
Hawaii
crazy.
does have a huge problem with like people flying to Hawaii just to be homeless.
Yeah, just because the rich Californians, instead of moving to Idaho, they just get a plane ticket.
Which I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah. Because imagine
Not for
owning
what?
a $2 million house. Imagine grinding your whole life. Actually, I take that back. Screw San Francisco, those tech mojos. I could care less. I might be a homeless person. Hey, I might shave my head and be a homeless person and take a dump on the football just for shits and gigs.
I might just not be a homeless person and still take a dump on there.
I hey, I'm down. Put on the guy out there.
And
But
then when a communist dictator comes and visits, you can clean it up.
yes, funny how that works.
Yeah, funny how that works.
Funny how that works. But I do think that we're going to see definitely a market shift of because I know firsthand because growing up in the Chicagoland area, I took a course in high school about like the history of the city of Chicago. But a lot of the main headquarters and industry moved out of the city into the suburbs. So I'm interested to see if because like New York, New Jersey, Chicago, and California, they're all taking big hits. Like they're all net negative in population. So it's gonna be interesting to see if people are moving or like headquarters of companies moving because I know some Wall Street banks moved their headquarters from New York City to Miami during COVID and they did not come back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This I'm trying to use this as like I guess what my question was like what is kind of your shoot from the hip predictions of this population shift because we are in a midst of a population shift of the coasts are not as important because like think about it. When you're growing up, you watch a movie, people dream about moving to LA or New York to make it on yada yada. Like if you want to make it on Wall Street, you move to New York. If you want to make it in show business, you move to LA. or if you just want to experience like opportunity, you move to the coast. What is going to be interesting to see is, are these new up and coming cities with a population shift going to become um like titans of industry or cultural epicenters? Because like, say what you want to say, New York City is still a cultural epicenter. LA, as much as we hate on
Yeah.
it, still a cultural epicenter. You know my rant last episode about Austin. I think if you live in Austin, you're a loser. You have no talent. You're skillless. You have no vision. You're a sheep. Um, yes,
uh,
I
I
said that.
think tech. I think the tech industry is going to leave California.
Why? That's interesting. I did not think that. I would
I
like
mean,
to expand.
the whole reason that the California even has a tech industry and is because there's a military base there and huge military presence during World War II, and the tech bases were in California, and then after World War II, they just all stayed in California. It wasn't any kind of incentive or anything. It's just that the government subsidized pretty much tech exploding in California. And now, I mean, with the not business friendly in California, and we've already seen a lot of other businesses leaving California. I think Hollywood's going to stay. There's no
See, I
moving that. Just but
I agree with you because they're moving to New Jersey, Fort
yeah,
Monmouth. Fort Monmouth, they Netflix bought, and like their headquarters is going to be there. Because like, not to play devil's advocate, but like what my prediction was would be the last place to leave, last industry to leave California, I thought would be tech, because they're in
really,
everything. Because of like Google has a whole campus out there. Stanford is like, they have all those subsidies and stuff like that at Stanford. Can I see like onesies and twosies? Can I see Google building a giant facility in Florida, straight up like how Disney did it? Or can I see Facebook building offices in Austin, like kind of like how Elon Musk has Tesla based in Texas? But I think all the
his
industry,
factory. It's still his headquarters is still in California.
yes, but you know what I'm saying?
But
Like, you can see
mhm.
them. I think tech is going to be the last one to leave, because
Okay,
because they're ingrained in, like, they have campuses. Stanford is a pipeline. UCLA is a pipe. Like, you know how there's like certain, like, if you go to Harvard or Yale Business School, you're going to end up on Wall Street. If you go to Stanford and get like a biotechnical engineer, you're going to end up in San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like rooted in the culture.
yeah, I guess I don't think they're gonna give up their buildings and um, their presence. Is just that they're also going to create a presence somewhere else, and
Oh
then
yeah,
eventually maybe transfer their headquarters, but they're still going to keep a presence because a lot of people will go there just because of the state, just because it's beautiful, and they want to live there. Um,
yeah, I agree with that.
but I mean, we could be completely wrong. We don't know what happened
Hell,
a year from
I've been
now
wrong
or anything like that.
times before. I'll be wrong again. I'm not afraid of being wrong, but I just think it's interesting to see of, if we're going to see all the population shifting, what's going to come from that.
Yeah, definitely manufacturing is definitely going to be something that's in Texas, I think, and we see that with Tesla right now.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I think you're going to see almost every manufacturer. I think we're going to reach like a
and
nexus.
Amazon is huge here.
Yeah, we're going to reach a nexus of where it's going to be almost impossible to do manufacturing and make money in states, in the blue states, and
hmm
then you're gonna probably see some legislation of them trying to like go socialize and like seize control of those operations, and that's when it's gonna be like the watershed moment of, we need to get rid of these idiotic policies.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, it's going to be too expensive to manufacture anything. Um,
Unless it's fraudulent, unless you know the mayor and you know the councilman.
yeah,
That's legitimately how, like,
this
that's the big
yeah,
thing about socialism. To get anything done, you have to go through the government, and you have to go through the government to get something done. Then it becomes corrupt.
and they'll bail you out or something like that. Like,
Yeah, like, if you know, like, hey, if you like the way I see it moving forward, like, that's what I'm saying, the watershed moment, because like I can 100% see a future 20 years from now in Illinois. If I wanted to start my own clothing brand and manufacture in the United States, I would have to pay off a city councilman. You know what I'm saying? Like get get into politics to get something done.
Just to
Which you
start.
already with all the laws like to do
You have
to
an understanding of it.
yeah, but like in real estate now, which is kind of becoming a problem with like building and housing shortages, with a lot of people coming, like the local ordinances, it's becoming more and more increasingly difficult to get anything done.
Oh yeah.
Like even when I have a less than 1,000 square foot home in Illinois, and we basically redid the whole thing, and we needed this permit, that permit, this permit, and then the and fire. It's like, what are we doing here, bro? We're putting some floors in and changing some tile, and you need to get your greasy palms in here. I was like, get out of.
Yeah, it's yeah. The
It's legitimately
permitting process is kind of ridiculous because it's supposed to be, the whole point of it is so contractors can't take advantage of the owner of the house or
yeah,
the
an idiotic contractor will always take
builder.
advantage of someone. If you don't know how to do
Yeah,
something, pay someone to
but if
do
you're
it.
remodeling your own house, like there's no point of pulling a, you shouldn't have to pull a permit because the whole point is to keep someone else taking advantage of you. But like if you're doing it yourself or you're overseeing it, then like there's no point.
Yeah, no, it's preposterous.
Yeah. Like I get it if like I want to build a house and I'm hiring someone else to build it. Like yeah, they should probably have some oversight from somebody. But like if I'm doing it myself,
I would say limited. I want to emphasize limited oversight, because the oversight is killing the housing market, because we can't build anything.
it's expensive.
It's
I
expensive.
think
It's hard to do. Like you need like to build a home from scratch. From if I bought uh if I bought a piece of land in a suburb in any major city, like I don't care if it's Texas or New York, you need to know. It's almost like you need someone to teach you how to navigate the paperwork process to get anything done, which is crazy in America.
yeah. So so to pull a building permit, it's a certain percentage of the total cost of your project of your building. Um, so yeah, if your building is if it's over, I believe I believe federally if it's over, if you have a commercial building over $50,000, then you have to abide by the Americans with Disabilities Act, which just to have bigger bathrooms, handrails, all that stuff. That's going to then cost another $20,000 just to make sure you're up to code with with that act. Which some of it makes sense, and some of it's like, bro, just let me build my commercial building here.
I'm going to quote someone who I don't know who it is, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I think that's
Yeah,
a perfect way
that's
to.
exactly what the the building code process is.
Yes.
Yeah, so, some of it is good, like with the right amount of fire exits that you have to have. Like if you're in a commercial building or like a school or something, and the school catches on fire, like you want to make sure you be able to get out of the building safely.
You know what we need to do legitimately? We need to do an audit of the permit process of like, why was this put in there? Can we take it out? Should we keep it? Like, have X amount of fire escapes. I would say that's probably pretty important for people's life. You know what I'm saying? Having something for a homeless or a disabled person to get to and from, probably a good idea. But there's a million asinine little ticky tack things that we should probably get rid of to make it easier and cheaper for people to build homes. Because we're getting to a point of there's no homes, everything's prices going up, and then next thing you know,
Yeah.
buy 1,000-foot ranch is going to be $2 million.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
For what? Because
it's ridiculous.
yeah, asinine. Okay, Nick, that's all I have for right now. Where can the people find you?
Houston, Cowling Realty Group, Houston, Texas. You can find me on Instagram or X.
And please go follow the podcast on Instagram and YouTube. Instagram real_PT_podcast. And then the YouTube is just PTA_pod. Nick, thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, John Caligiuri, and have a good rest of your day.